folks, okie dokie, here we go on a, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning. I'm George Grant. Today happens to be the 26th day of February. Welcome to another edition of Gudday Grenada. Always so nice to see you guys. Nice sunny morning here. Do have a couple of cruise ships in town, a biggie, the Aida Perla, and one of those, actually this one has 5 masts, one of those sailing ships. I don't remember the name of it, but they're there this morning, and you are. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, pilgrims, whither goest we today? Where are we going? Where are we going? Let's take a look at the rundown and see where we're headed over the next 58 minutes or so. If you are taking a look at the rundown on your social media page there, you'll see that we start off with a segment which is being tagged. Hello? Yeah, you're going to have to wait a minute. Segment is being tagged Abusive Treatment of Visitors by a Bus Driver. This thing has gone viral, and you're going to have a chance to see it, and some of you may have already seen it. You're going to have a chance to take a look at it in just a wee bit. And then the second item is a statement from the Grand Anse Bus Owners Association. They are responding to this incident. You have to decide whether the response was appropriate or inappropriate. You should see my SWGG forum. A number of people have commented on that. Well, we're not going to go into their reactions, but you'll see the incident, and you'll also see the statement from the Bus Drivers Association. And then we move on to Mag's Human. Another edition of Black Makers of History. We've been going on this now for almost a month, and I think she's got 2 more planned for us, one for tomorrow, Thursday, and one for Friday. Mags girl, appreciate your hard work. Today, she's going to take a look at an inventor and electrical engineer who's made a pretty damn big name for himself. His name is Dominic. Hello, Andre. Hear what Mags has found out about him and put together to share with you this morning as we continue the educational process of educating our people. No TV, no scandal. Yeah, let's learn something. Then we have the national report for you this morning. And then, she's going to be here, sitting over there in that chair. Sherron Roberts is going to be with us this morning. And as always, we are eagerly anticipating her visit. Here's a lady who rolls up her sleeves, no holds barred. Something's on her mind, and she makes sure that she gets it off her chest. And I'm sure that this morning it's going to be absolutely no different. Now, let's get down to business. 4.5 minutes after the hour. Folks, somebody sent me a video, yesterday or the day before, about an incident which happened where a bus driver apparently got really annoyed with some passengers. I don't know. I was not there, okay? Let me make that very clear. But this man was demanding that they pay him $15 each. There were a number of passengers on the bus. And I don't know where this camera person was, but he managed to capture what was happening. Bus driver was really agitated. became, I would say, a little bit aggressive. Now, as you watch this, you will hear the voice of the person who was capturing the video quite clearly. But not so clear is the conversation that went on with the bus driver. Okay, well, I didn't hear the passengers responding to him, but he was in such a rage. You could hear his voice. It was kind of low, so last night I sat here and did a little doctoring to the audio so that you might be able to hear it a little bit better than what you see circulating on social media. I had some success, but it still wasn't the absolute best audio quality. So try and listen as carefully as you can, and you'll see what I was talking about. Take a look.
Was man making noise some money? $15 a person to reach by the airport. Look drama. Look drama. Boy. Look drama. I will never do that. Wow. Look drama. Man bad up to some money.
Okay, so there you have it. See what I mean? The audio wasn't the very best, but I hope you were able to understand what the bus driver was saying. Boy, he was agitated. He was agitated. Again, I say, I was not there, so I do not understand. I do not know the circumstances which led to this and what have you and what haven't you. Okay? Now, what I did do is put together, well, I didn't put together, but I got this sent to me from the Anse Bus Owners Association. And this is their reaction to what you just saw. I quote, "We, the Anse Bus Owners Association, GBOA, would like to take this opportunity to assure and inform the general public that we do not, capitals, do not condone, encourage, or accept any form of anger and or aggression towards passengers under any circumstances by any of our members. These behaviors, actions, and practices are against our code of ethics and are dealt with severely once brought to our attention. However, we would like to note that upon the completion of our internal investigations into the video making the rounds on social media platforms, as well as meeting with the driver in question, we have come to the conclusion that although the aggression was not warranted nor represented the association and our nation properly, the fee which was quoted by the driver for the transportation services rendered was correct and in keeping with the standardized fees of the GBOA, that's the Grand Anse Bus Owners Association. As a direct result, we stand behind him in that regard only. Let me repeat that. As a result, we stand behind him in that regard only. And all of our members in the collection of the correct fees for all services rendered to the general public. Furthermore, we would like to take this opportunity once more to encourage all bus owners and drivers to have their required price list clearly displayed inside of their buses for all passengers to see in order to avoid any further conflict and/or disputes. The GBOA is further requesting that you, our valued customers, kindly verify the price of your trip with the bus driver and/or the conductor, where applicable, before embarking on your journey in an attempt to avoid any further dispute. Lastly, moving forward, we, the GBOA, would like to encourage the general public, our valued customers, to look for and travel on buses that are branded with the association's logo, which is located on the front left side of the bus. All buses carrying the same are members of the association, that's the logo, and as such, they will be penalized and dealt with accordingly for the violation of all the association's code of ethics and approved by government prices and approved government pricing once reported to the association by you, our valued customers. Our direct line of contact via phone or WhatsApp, where you can report any issue, dispute, or price discrepancies, is 473-410-7011. Or you can reach us by email at Grand Anse Bus Association. Let me repeat that. Grand Anse Bus Association at gmail.com. It is the aim of the Grand Anse Bus Owners Association to continually improve and provide better quality service transportation to you, our valued customers plying the Grand Anse bus route. Thank you again for your continued support. Okay? Statement from the Grand Anse Bus Owners Association in response to what I showed you there a few minutes ago. You know, you talk about the price list. I remember a time when, I used the bus like every other day, okay? Sometimes, more often than not, on the St. Paul's route from the terminal coming up Lucas Street here. You know, a lot of buses go up Lucas Street, some to Montgelou, some to Vincennes, St. Paul's, wherever. And I cannot tell you, folks, the last time I saw a price list on one of those buses. Maybe up to sometime early last year, I did see price list. But I haven't seen that in eons. I mean that, I haven't. And the same goes with the Grand Anse buses. I was on a Grand Dance bus a couple of days ago. I didn't see any sign. No price list. No price list. All right. Okay. Let me say good morning to you guys out there this morning. Let's see. Imagine the race is on. Let's see who wins this morning. It goes to Anthea Rollo. Yeah, man, she's back at the top. Anthea, hello, Anthea. Congratulations. Grenada Sunshine saying good morning to you guys, and so is T.F. Richards. He says it's 5 a.m. Where the heck are you? It's probably way out on the west coast this morning. You're heading towards China? TF, 5 o'clock this morning, and it's 9:15 here. Okay. Arthur Langine is saying good morning from an overcast Brooklyn, New York, and Kippy Francis is saying good morning. Joycey Smith is saying the fare should be displayed or the passengers be told before entering the bus. Yeah, man. Yeah, you're right, but I have not. I mean, I'm honest, I have not seen those price lists on the buses. Okay. And I use the bus a lot. Okay. Now, who else is there? Arthur Langine says, my dear people, that video is a disgrace to the image of Grenada, and this guy should never be able to drive again. Yes, Arthur, we heard you. Okay. Anthony DeRiggs is there as well this morning. Carla Ray, Angela Briggs. Yeah, Carla Ray, good morning. You still going to the beach, girl? Huh? Nah, I guess not. You putting it, just showed up. Yeah, she's going to be with us in a couple of minutes. Peter Bernard is here with us. T.F. Richard says, the bus fares need to be regularized and economical. Are the rates charged by location or distance? I don't know what formula they use. Maybe Sherron knows. We'll talk about that in a little while. So it's cheaper to go to Sauters than Point Celine. That's a very important point that came up on my my WhatsApp forum. $15, and I'm assuming like from St. George to the airport. And I know because I paid that. Okay, I paid that. And that's just 3-4 miles away. 3 or 4 miles. And to Sauters, Grenville is $6. Wago, I know. Carla says, apparently they are. But what the bus operators need to do is to implement that pay first system instead of racing the other operators to reach their destination first. That might help, I don't know. Thanks, Carla. Claude Pudna is there, and Anthea says, so, was the rate established before the trip? I don't get this. Then at the airport, what? No police there? Police can't be everywhere, but yeah. Enid is checking in this morning. My goodness, Deanna Lashley? What happened to you, girl? The power take you or something this morning? I haven't seen her on this forum before, but welcome, Deanna, nice to see you. Then she's sitting here, and I see her showing up here as being logged in. Sherron Elizabeth Roberts Wilshire. Good morning, Sherron. Carla, good morning, Sherron. Carla says the audio is iffy. Anybody else having iffy audio? I'm seeing audio going out fine here. Anyway, your smartphone is iffy, Carla. T.F. Richard says, where is the Grenadian spirit like that of the folks who assisted after the Bianca Sea? Why have we become so greedy? Tourism, the little that we have left, is all that we have, and we cannot allow hoodlums like this to damage our image. And let me tell you something, TF. I have seen some instances with bus drivers that just absolutely freak me out. I don't believe this is an isolated case. Michelle Forsythe says, airport travel has always been more than regular trips, as it is considered off route. Oh, I see. Okay. That was a very good response from the association, I think. Okay, Michelle, thank you very much. Margaret Francis, if you have invoked Margaret Francis, you better watch out. Here she goes. Margaret says, once upon a time, the fares used to be posted. True. Apparently, that is not the case anymore. It should not be a suggestion, but a legal requirement that all bus fares be posted where visible to passengers. Couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I know it's $2.50 from the terminal up here to Woolwich Road, yeah, but there are people, strangers, who may be traveling on the buses and don't know that. Good morning, Glendon Augustine. Cecilia John is also chiming in this morning. T.F. Richard says, and if one wants to get technical, the area of the incident is still airport property. See Sherron going, she can take you on that, T.F. Damian Val McLeod is there with us this morning. T.F. says, there we have another issue, folks. One doesn't have to be in the association to operate a bus on any route. So asking to look for a logo just doesn't make any sense. Margaret says, TF, yes and no. The bus driver's approach was horrible. But I also do not want to dismiss the fact that some of these tourists try to stiff locals because of white privilege and the feeling that we are less than them. All of this could have been avoided if one simple thing was in place: the visible placement of a price list. Some things in life are so simple. Neela Duncan saying good morning. Anthony DeRake says, I must say that some of the bus drivers are overly aggressive. I took note of that while I was in Grenada. Yeah, I agree with you. George Peters is there this morning. And TF says, Margaret, another thing is that some drivers would do the same trip for half the price at times. Again, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Bernard Gilbert has a question. Why does it cost less to go to the country? I don't know. Margaret says the bus fares are regularized. For example, it's $2.50 for a short drop, and there are zones. Also, as others have pointed out, it does not cost more to go to the airport. Sorry, it does cost more to go to the airport. I know, because I've done it. The last time I did the fare was $12 to PSIA, $12 to the airport. Good for you. You got off, girl. Good morning, Harry. Kevin Mark Burkhart is there as well this morning, and he says, correct. Audio not good. Background noises a lot. Yeah, I know we've been having some, we're trying to figure out what that is. Okay. Maria St. Bernard is with us, and Lydia James is with us. Lawrence Kruthoff is with us. Neela Duncan says, I only recently realized you on this page. Hazel Ferguson been asking about you too. Well, thank you very much, Neela Duncan. Say hi to Hazel for me. And T.F. Richard says, yes, George, there's a static sound in your audio today. Yeah, T.F., we have been working on that for a few days. And yesterday we thought we got pretty close to finding the source of it. We're going to keep working, okay? Neela Duncan says, can you add a follow on your page so people can follow you? Okay, Neela, thanks for the advice. Okay. All right, folks. Wow. I'm running behind time. So let's get down. Time now for another edition of our month-long series. Yaman. Let's get that all queued up. Black Makers of History with Margaret Francis. Today we turn to a Trinidadian electrical engineer and inventor by the name of Dominic Cropper. Hadn't heard of him until Mags brought this up. Check him out.
Celebrating Black Makers of History. Today's Black Maker of History is Dr. Andre Cropper. The next time you look at a flat screen TV, laptop, ATM machine, or cell phone, think of Trinidadian innovator and electrical engineer Dr. Andre Cropper. That's because Cropper invented a method for making an integrated display device that includes an OLED display and touchscreen. His invention enabled development of flat panel displays that are used in many of today's electronic devices. Cropper's many accomplishments also include development of thin layers of laboratory-produced diamonds that can be used in the semiconductor industry. Cropper always wanted to be an electrical engineer. His childhood hobby was dismantling and reassembling electronic devices. In 1999, Cropper joined Eastman Kodak Company, where his research work included OLED applications, flat panel display technologies, and semiconducting electronic and optoelectronic materials. A graduate of Howard University in the United States, Cropper earned his PhD in electrical and materials engineering from Virginia Tech. A champion swimmer for Trinidad and Tobago in the 70s, Cropper was a lecturer at the University of the West Indies and an instructor at Norfolk State University in Virginia. Cropper likes to engage young people in science at every opportunity. He is a frequent speaker at primary and secondary schools and organizations involved in science and technology and youth development. Celebrating Dr. Andre Cropper, electrical engineer, inventor, and Caribbean science icon.
There you go. Learn something else. Thank you very much, Max. 2 more to go, eh? Boy, she's been working at it. Pilgrims, quick break, and then we'll come back with the National Report.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
One more for the road. Look, I find you had a little too much to drink, you know. Let me drive. Nah, man, I good.
Alcohol causes drowsiness, slow response time, distorted vision, impaired decision-making, blackouts, decreased coordination. Drinking water does not make you less drunk. Never drink and drive. It takes only a second.
I'm really, really sorry.
Sorry? Sorry can't bring back my sister. You've been drinking. I can smell it. Why?
This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Together with you, our customers, we energize our community.
Together with you, we energize our economy.
We are working together to give our nation a better tomorrow.
With you, we energize our future. Together, we energize our nation.
Thank you for partnering with us as we energize our Spice Island.
Redleg, energizing our Grenada.
One more for the road. Look, I find you had a little too much to drink, you know. Let me drive. Nah, man, I good.
Alcohol causes drowsiness, slow response time, distorted vision, impaired decision-making, blackouts, decreased coordination. Drinking water does not make you less drunk. Never drink and drive. It takes only a second.
I'm really, really sorry.
Sorry? Sorry can't bring back my sister. You've been drinking. I can smell it. Why?
This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Grenada launches $135 million G-Cruise project. We'll have details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, February 25th, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Grenada moves one step closer to improving its water supply services through its $135 million Climate Resilience Water Sector Project, G-Cruise. The 60-year project is being funded by the Green Climate Fund, the German Federal Ministry for the Environment, and will be implemented by the Ministry of Infrastructural Development and GIZ. The government is partnering with the island's National Water and Sewage Authority, NAWASA, to improve the supply of water distributed throughout the island and successfully implement the project. Grenada's journey towards climate resilience started with discussions on making the country a climate resilient nation, with St. George's being the first climate resilient city. Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, during his feature address at the launch of the project on Tuesday, said the G-Cruise project is transformational, with many positive, beneficial outcomes.
The magnitude of this project will also see the creation of more than 1,500 jobs, thereby creating positive impacts on multiple fronts in our country. This G-Cruise project is quite complex, but we expect to achieve several positive outcomes. We expect to increase Grenada's adaptive capacity at the regulatory framework level to cope with reduced and erratic rainfall, increased temperatures, extreme weather events, including tropical storms and sea level rises. We expect also to increase the resilience of the Grenadian water users by strengthening adaptive capacity and reducing the exposure of household, farmers, and the tourism industry. We expect to strengthen the climate resilience in the water supply system and infrastructure. Grenada is therefore at the forefront of efforts in the region to access climate funding, and with the GCRUISE project, we will prove that we are able to implement sizable investment projects.
It is known that the south of the island feels the brunt of harsh weather spells, especially water shortage. Health Minister and Parliamentary Representative for St. George South, Nicholas Steele, is pleased that his constituency will benefit tremendously once the project unfolds.
Undoubtedly, the South is one of the largest consumers of water in Grenada, from our hotel sector and the size of our population. And therefore, the South will be one of the largest benefactors and contributors to the resilience as this project goes forward.
There are 5 components to the project: climate resilient water governance, water users, water supply system, contributions towards Grenada's climate goals, and regional learning and replication. GIZ Caribbean Regional Director Verena Blickwoody said the onus is on every Grenadian and stakeholder to ensure the success of the project.
The project team will do everything possible to show visible results as soon as possible. However, GCRUISE can only succeed when all stakeholders, authorities, institutions, the civil society, and all involved individuals contribute with all their power to its implementation. That cannot be done by the GCRUISE team alone. So let's start and make the Grenadian water supply sector climate resilient.
The GCRUISE project is the largest investment in Grenada's water sector and the first bilateral project by the Green Climate Fund in the region. In related news, Infrastructure Minister Gregory Bowen says a water resource management unit will be established under the new GCRUISE project. During Tuesday's launch of the $135 million climate resilient water sector project, Minister Bowen said the new unit will ensure proper resource management and assist in developing regulation policy and financing instruments.
Water governance will be addressed through this project. In that regard, the Water Resource Management Unit will be established to ensure sound and climate responsive regulation of water resource management. This includes protection of our natural water resources under the purview of agriculture and in the water, an improvement of the efficiency in water use. Priority setting of water uses will be given due attention. In other words, with these 2 ministries, things are no longer only in words, they must be implemented.
He says with the establishment of the Ministries of Implementation and Climate Resilience in 2018, Grenada proved to the rest of the region how serious it was about being climate resilient. Minister Bowen encouraged each household and business to adopt a plan in preparation for the harsh effects of climate change.
Residents in the area of South Grenada receive less rainfall than the rest of mainland Grenada throughout the year. It is therefore important for all of us to ensure that we introduce water-saving measures in our daily operation.
This is the National Report. We'll have more news after the break. Welcome back. Stakeholders are taking an advanced approach towards climate change mitigation and planning, as they are this week learning how to analyze software developed and data collected from 33 of the hydrometric stations that were installed island-wide. Mina Booker tells us about this workshop and how it is beneficial to Grenada.
This hydrometric network will help to provide real-time climate data and improve weather and climate predictions for Grenada and the Caribbean region. It will also improve weather bulletins issued for the island. The data collected from the hydrometric network will be distributed primarily through the Office of the Land Use Division of the Ministry of Agriculture in collaboration with the Meteorological Office at the Morris Bishop International Airport.
The overall objective of this component is to improve the hydrometeorological data management system for the island, focusing primarily on three entities: NAWASA, Med Services, and within the Ministry of Agricultural Land Use. And it involved the supply of all of the instrumentation and equipment to modernize all of the observing networks. It includes some civil works for the hydrometeorological stations, the data acquisition software and processing software, some hardware that given to the agencies, establishment of a website, and then training component, which is extremely important.
That's Acting Chief Land Use Officer, Mr. Trevor Thompson. This network is part of the efforts to reduce vulnerability to natural hazards and build climate resilience to impacts of climate change by the Government of Grenada through the Regional Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project, which began in 2010. The project is funded by the World Bank and the Climate Investment Fund. Through support from Sutran OTT, Grenada was able to upgrade and install more devices to the Climate Data Collection Network, or the Hydrometric Network. The improved network now includes synoptic stations, climate stations, agroclimate stations, groundwater stations, marine stations, and other types of monitoring systems. Clara Patch, Senior Software Engineer at Sutran OTT Hydromet, says the organization hopes that stakeholders will be able to make the best use of the system and provide information to other cooperating countries and agencies.
Sutran Hydromet has been installing stations in the Caribbean for over 20 years. We have been installing hydromet stations throughout the world for over 40 years. And I'm glad to say that the station we installed at the airport in 2004 is still being maintained and transmitting well. So this week we're doing software training. We'll look at the website that we've developed for the Government of Grenada. We want to make sure that what we deliver for you in the presentation of the data works to help your job be easier, be better, and to share the information with other parties, other cooperating countries and agencies.
The 5-day software data collection and analysis training workshop is taking place at the Fisheries Conference Room at Melville Street. For Wim Cox, Manager of Planning and Development at NAWASA, the real-time information provided by the network will be beneficial for them, especially in management of their dams.
During the dry season, when these streams tend to go down, where the flow tends to be quite less, if our reading is monthly, if we could now get these readings daily or hourly, or as the project have them in some cases, it speaks better value for us, and we could know how to operate, how much water that we could take, and balance our entire network in a more efficient way. At NAWASA, we are overly grateful for this project. It is timely as we're about to embark on a major project.
Hubert White, manager of the Grenada Met Services, encourages all to care for these systems.
For this data to make this sort of sense that we want and the sort of outcome we want, we need about 30 years data. So come 30 years from now, most of us would not be around. But we want the instrument to be around. And for the instrument to be around, we must have a robust maintenance system. And that is why you are here, to learn to maintain the system so that we can get maximum benefit from it.
For the Ministry of Agriculture, I am Mina Buka.
That story just ended the national report for today, Tuesday, February 25th. Let's recap the top story. Grenada launches $135 million G-Cruise project. On behalf of the entire news team here at the Government Information Service, I am Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
I'm always on the move. Training, traveling, competing. So it's good to know I have Core Bank in the palm of my hand.
Introducing e-banking, one of many customer convenience services from Grenada Cooperative Bank, and there's more to come.
It's swift, simple, and secure.
Welcome home.
I'm always on the move. Training, traveling, competing. So it's good to know I have Core Bank in the palm of my hand.
Introducing e-banking, one of many customer convenience services from Grenada Cooperative Bank, and there's more to come.
It's swift, simple, and secure.
Welcome home.
All righty, folks, take a look, take a look, take a look, take a look. There she is. Good morning, Ms. Roberts, and how are you?
Good morning. I'm really, really good.
On top of the world.
Man, any better with twins.
Sherron, listen, sorry that we're a little bit late getting started here this morning, but we got some stuff to talk about. And I want to start with, because you came in right when we were running this bus issue.
Right.
You saw the video?
Yes, and I listened to you. I was outside, that's why you saw me online. I listened to you read
The statement from the bus owners.
And I've seen the video. And you know, let's, what they call it, devil's advocate. You know, there are times, I was thinking maybe that bus driver had a bad experience in the past. We've had incidents of the SGU students playing tricks on drivers and doing this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying what he did was right.
Mm-hmm.
What he did was terrible. Terrible. You don't deal with people
Shameful.
like that. It's shameful. But sometimes people do something and you wonder why they get to that stage. What's happening inside? What's the problem? You know, maybe it's a bigger issue than $15. So I wouldn't take his license away from him and all this sort of thing. But somebody need to speak to him. And from what I hear from the one that you read out, seems like they know who he is and they spoke with him and stuff like that. But something Margaret said about white privilege, that is so true. That is very, very true. We had an incident with an SGU student coming to the embassy some time ago to complain that he was beaten up by the police at South St. George. Now, I was responsible at the time. I was a senior person at the embassy at the time. And the person that he went to complain to came upstairs and told me what the problem was. And he was waiting to see me. So before I went down, I called South St. George and I spoke to the officer there and found out that the reason why they arrested him, the Prime Minister and his entourage was coming from the airport, and he deliberately pushed his vehicle between the Prime Minister's entourage. And they pulled him over and he was arrested. They took him in for questioning. And he kept saying to the police, beating his chest and saying, beat me up, beat me up. And the police said, well, why should we beat you up? And he was insisting that they should beat him up. Now, I also called the university to let them know we have a report. I suggest that the student advisor come to the embassy. Then I went down to deal with him. And when he told me what happened, I asked him, I said, what did you do to get arrested? He said, oh, I broke the police ranks. I said, why? He said, I wanted to see what would happen. And I don't think he's all that important anyway. I said, if you did that in Washington or any part of the US where the president was traveling, do you think you would have been alive today? He said, well, he's not no president. I said, okay. I said, so that was the first reason why you got arrested. I said, they beat you up? Yes, they beat me up. So I asked him that 3 times and he got annoyed. So I said, show me where they beat you. And that boy showed me a torn cuticle, a little piece of his fingernail. So I said to him, I said, well, look, I'm really sorry this happened to you, but what I'll have to do now is call the university and ask Dr. Rao to come in. At that time, I saw the representative for the university exit the guard booth. When he heard that, he said, no, it's okay. I don't need to report to the university. I said, no, well, seeing that you brought it this far, we need to report it. And at the same time, the person opened the door. He almost fainted. Apparently, that was about the 3rd or 4th time that particular student got in trouble with the police by pushing them. So the bus drivers and so, a lot of times, taxi drivers, the students trick them. They get in and then when they reach their destination, say, we didn't have all the money and all that. Sometimes they're patients and sometimes they end up getting themselves in trouble. So you have to realize that something might have triggered this whole thing. I'm not saying that he's right. I'm repeating, I'm not saying that he was right to behave like that. But sometimes these people go above and beyond. You take simply the way they walk in the street. In the middle of the road. I'm a driver and sometimes I sit there. On a good day, I would just slowly drive behind them. And sometimes just to be mischievous, when I nearly reach them, I blast my horn, and to see them jump into the air to get out of the way.
Michelle Forsyth says, absolutely correct, Sherron. We have the video from his behavior. What transpired before? We cannot condone the behavior, but we can refrain from passing judgment.
Exactly.
Frank Alexander says, hold on a sec here. In the outside world, passengers cannot refuse to pay the fare after they have arrived at their destination.
Right.
Valid point. Margaret Francis says, yes, Sherron, and incidents like those involving medical students happen more frequently than people think.
Exactly.
I have had my own encounter with them and have heard other locals complain as well, which is why I made that comment about white privilege. You know, this is really interesting. Bus drivers in this place have come under fire big time, especially in recent years, for a lot of things. The reckless driving, stopping outside of bus stops, and all kinds of stuff. And it's so interesting this morning to hear people, I'm not saying that they're taking the sides of the bus driver, but they're acknowledging that, yeah, they're not always all that wrong.
Right.
Huh?
And the reality is, okay, if you go off route, because a few times I had to take the bus like I get up in the morning, my car is not working, I had to grab the bus. To get them to Sugar Mill from the market, you pay $2.50. But to go into Lansepine by the embassy, they would charge me $5 on a good day, and sometimes $10. I've paid $10. The airport is normally $15. Past the airport is up to the bus driver. There's some real nice ones. If, let's say, you get on the bus and you realize, shoot, you forgot your purse or something. I have seen bus drivers give people ride when you say, you know, even if you ask them, can you wait a minute when I drop off to run inside and get money? They'll do that. They'll accommodate you.
They're nice people.
Or if you tell them you don't have the money in advance, they will accommodate you. It might have been cheaper had they taken a taxi where they would pay $35 from St. George to the airport, you know? But the $15 each sounded a bit rough. But
the association says that's a normal fare.
I was about to say, but that's what it is, you know. And in this instance, somebody asked about where the police at the airport, dropping off at the airport. Where's the police? They weren't dropping off at the airport. They were dropping off at the top of Magazine Beach. They actually wanted to go down to the beach, what we call concrete strip. Some people don't know the official name is Magazine Beach. Now, they could have walked down. Or if you know you have to pay $15, pay $15 and go. His manner was terrible, aggressive and getting in the people's space and all this kind of thing. But
T.F. Richard says, George, I totally agree with Sherron. I was a corporal at the South St. George Police Station, and those students and even visitors at hotels do some unscrupulous things.
Yep. Very. I mean, it's amazing, some of the things. I met a American couple one day on the beach, and they said to me, we think we're going to stay in Grenada. I said, what do you mean you're going to stay? Oh, there's so many things you could do. And this couple decided they wanted to recycle garbage. And they want to stay in Grenada. And they were complaining that they went to the immigration and told them they've decided to stay. And immigration is giving them a hard time. So they want the American representative to step in and demand that they be allowed to stay. And I was flabbergasted, you know? And I always say, when they come to our country, they're tourists and visitors, and when we go to their country, we're aliens. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah.
I get very emotional to see the behavior sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Let's shift gears a little bit here. TF says, for us Catholics, etc., today is Ash Wednesday.
That's right.
She reminded me of that once she got in here this morning. And commences the 40 days of leading up to Lent. Usually it also starts a time of reflection, fasting, and refraining from doing something that we like to do for 40 days. What are you giving up this year? This year?
Well, I'm glad you put it that way. I had a Mother Superior at the convent. Apart from going to the convent as a student, I actually entered the religious life. I thought I wanted to be a nun. So Mother Superior told me one time, it's not so much giving up something as taking up something. So for example, yes, if you find that you drink excessively, try giving up something like that.
Okay.
And maybe what you would do, instead of drinking a beer every evening, put the money that you would spend on beer or alcohol aside and donate it to somebody in need. I'm not saying to the church and nothing so, but somebody in need. There's always somebody who could do with a little something. But maybe you could take up going to visit the sick, you know, during visiting hours. Just go to the hospital. There's always a bed where you see there are no visitors.
Okay.
Just ask the sisters or the nurses or whatever. I'd just like to visit and spend some time with somebody who haven't had a visitor for a while. So do something like that. Put a little food basket together and take it to somebody you know that's real down and out. Or buy a meal and give it to one of the guys that normally harass us in town for $1. Buy a meal and give it to them. Don't give them money, because especially if they're spending it on drugs.
Yeah.
But do something like that. Pick up something, not like going to the beach every day, but that's a good too, because you're doing it for you. And that's what I tend to do for Lent. This season, I've decided to give up meat totally. I eat meat occasionally, maybe once a week, but I want to give it up totally. I want to have more raw foods and stuff like that, but those are the things I'm doing for Sherron, right? But yes, and I'll go to church and get my ashes at midday. And I want to try not to cuss.
You're going to have to leave Grenada to do that.
I said I want to try it, because for New Year's, I said, I am not cussing this year. And 5 minutes later, one of my nieces reminded me, but Auntie, you remember you just said, So I lost that battle. So I'm going to try at least for the next 40 days.
Okay. Not to cuss.
Yeah.
So therefore, bus drivers should not get out of hand. Government should try and be more considerate of the people they govern. Because all of those things make you want to cuss, right?
But the other day, a guy gave me a bad drive, and normally I would. But a while now, I'm getting good. I used to have serious road rage. And I'm at a place where I just wave them, or if they cuss me up, I give them a kiss. And I guess that would be, you call that interfering with those people, that get them more angry. Well, my girlfriend, who we saw in line earlier on, one day I'm coming down with a bus driver right in the corner of St. Paul's by Roger Day. Give me a bad drive, and they said, thank you, have a blessed day. And she turned and she said, who are you? What have you done with my girlfriend?
Yeah.
So I'm getting there.
A little while ago, you mentioned, one of the things you might do is give to somebody who seems to be in need, especially a lot of the people you see on the streets nowadays asking for money, okay? But you also indicated the sort of fear that sometimes they take the money and go buy drugs, okay? You know something, Sherron? My mother, God rest her soul, will totally agree with you, and she's always been reluctant to do that because she fears these people are going to buy drugs, and quite often they do. Mm-hmm. But you know something, Sherron? I believe some of these folks are genuinely in need.
Yes.
Genuinely in need. And I remember the days when, you see somebody on the street, they're begging for money, and you give them $1, $2, $3 if you're really, really generous. Sherron, one day I came on and I asked myself, George, what the heck can somebody do with $1 or $2, And now, Sherron, though it may be very difficult at times, if I have a $20 bill in my pocket, in my wallet, I will pull it out and give it to somebody I see sitting on the side of the road. Because I really do believe, one, that the person is in need. You can tell, you know, your spirit can tell who is genuine and who is not.
Yes.
And the other thing, Sherron, you give somebody $5. Shoot, where you go buy?
Piece of chicken.
Piece of chicken? You can get that for $5 nowadays?
But you know you know the saying about Peter pay for Paul and Paul pay for all? A woman approached me in town a while back, and she asked me she gave me this story that her children father living in the US and sent her 2 barrels, and she need $100 to go and clear the barrel. I couldn't believe my ears. And that's a woman that is always begging town. But I told somebody about it, and they said, it's true, you know. She have her children father support his children and send stuff for them.
No, I mean, some of these people definitely go out of their way. There's one thing that drives me, one person in particular who just drives me gaga. And this is at Foodland downtown. You go to do your groceries at Foodland. There's a lady who will follow you from the time you get in. And she doesn't just ask for money. She creates a scene so everybody in the supermarket has to know that she's begging you for money. Okay. Once upon a time, I used to give, and I have given over and over to that lady. But it got to the point where, you know, when you give, you don't want to make a show of giving. Exactly. But this lady has become, for God's sakes, please don't, just leave me. And it's become a habit. And at one time, I had stopped shopping at Foodland because this lady's been there for months. And I've actually spoken to the staff there about her. One day, I had some groceries. I walked up to the cashier, and this lady came creating a heck of a scene. And I left the groceries right there on the cashier's counter, and I walked out. Didn't want to do that, but I had just had it.
Yeah.
Please don't create a scene, especially when over and over I have given and I'm prepared to continue. Hey, listen, there are times I would like to sit on the side of the road with a hat. Let me tell you, there are times I would. Anyhow.
And them times the way you do is you call me.
I'll call you.
Yeah, call me.
By the way.
I'll find it for you.
Thank you. When you making lobster pizza again?
Not tonight. I'm hosting tonight, but tonight I'm making cream of pigeon pea soup, and I'm going a little Belizean. So I'm doing what we call panades. We use is something like pâtés, but instead of meat we use fish, and instead of flour we use a mixture of flour and corn for the casing. So that I'm doing today. If I finish early, I'll send somebody with your dinner. Oh, and I'm doing
I love her.
a lemon meringue.
Lemon meringue pie?
I'm doing individual pies. So.
Okie dokie, girl.
But one of the things I wanted to encourage people to do, well, you've missed this year, but next year, try and get to Carriacou, even if it's just for a day, for the carnival. On the Tuesday, when they normally have the Shakespeare Mass, which is really, really good. Because what they do is they choose a book, one of the plays, the Shakespeare plays, and they actually, learn speeches from that play. And they dress up something like Shotney, but a little more elaborate. Mm-hmm. And you recite the the chapters. And when you make a mistake, the person you're reciting to would hit you with a stick, not hard, just a tap, and they would continue the speech, and you go like that, and it's an interesting mass. Mr. Link, who was one of the former charges, he loved it and would go to Carriacou just to see Shakespeare mass.
These guys don't forget some of the hospitality they got here. Listen, one of the people who come to your, what do you have tonight? Kaluki. Is Ricardo Kings Douglas, right?
Yes, he's off island at the moment.
Well, hold on. He may be off island, but he there right now.
He is.
Ricardo Kings Douglas, there he is.
Hi, Ricky. Love you.
Ricky, boy, he's probably going nuts right now, knowing that he's going to miss that stuff you're preparing tonight.
Oh, did he heard about the lobster? I don't think he was there when we did the lobster pizza, was he? I'm not too sure.
He says, he. He's heard you. Okay. Margaret, just going back a little bit, Margaret Francis says, not cussing? You're sure you don't want to rethink that? T.F. Richard says, Sherron, hold on a minute here. Where is this now? Oh my goodness. I've lost it. Okay, hold on. Yeah. TF says, Sherron, if you spend 1 hour with me in the truck, you would curse more than you've ever cursed at other motorists in your life.
Was it TF who said that he's a Catholic and today's Ash Wednesday? Let's have a little competition here. Let's have a little challenge here. When I go back home, I'm gonna get a bottle, and I will challenge my folks at home that anytime they hear me curse, they charge me $1. And because I know that I'm an honest person, anytime I catch myself cursing, I'll put $1 in that bottle as well. So if you do that and I do that, let's see at the end of Lent what we could come up with.
All right. Maria, hold on a sec here. Maria St. Bernard says, last Sunday morning, I saw a Muslim woman with a regular sign they all carry in front of the Catholic church door. A Muslim in front of a Catholic?
What is a regular sign?
I don't know. She doesn't say here. Moving on, Margaret Francis says, hey, what? So how come George getting and I ain't getting none?
Come to Grenada.
Sherron is jealous.
For you. Come to Grenada.
Oh, Mags. It's okay. We're going to have a feast sometime this year. John Emmanuel Dunn.
That's my son.
That's your son?
Yes.
He says, panades. What's panades?
Panades.
Panades.
Yes.
Panades. Okay. He says, yum.
Yeah.
Okay. Ricardo Kings Douglas says no. I don't know what he's knowing to.
No, he wasn't here when I did the lobster pizza.
Oh, okay.
So I owe you one.
All right. Ryan Jabon says, corn flour fish patties, yummy. Cream of pigeon pea soup. Any coconut milk in that?
Yes.
Yes. You guys are making me hungry just sitting here right now. Okay. Eric Pounder is there. TF says, okay, Sherron, I'm up for it. And anytime I curse, I would do the same. I'll try very hard.
Very good.
Okay.
That's a challenge.
Maria St. Bernard is responding to you. She says, begging for money. That's what the Muslim is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right, folks. I think that's going to do it for this morning, as usual. As usual. Fun. Sherron, my dear friend, thank you so much. And by the way, see that container there on the table?
Yeah, that's mine.
That's yours. That's what, I think she sent the pizza in that. Yeah, pizza the last time.
And
This
Sunday
woman has
lunch.
gotten us spoiled, you know, my mother would love you. She's probably sitting in heaven there. Papa God, please, keep blessing Sherron. Always blessing Sherron. Thank you very much, my dear friend, as always. Pilgrims, okay, just let me cue up something here. Yeah, that's all queued up. We're gonna take a little break, and then we will return to wrap it up. Don't go away.
Conveniently located in the Grand Shopping Center, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Granadas will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep.
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
Hey, Lynn.
Hey, neighbor.
Here's the bill I asked you to pay for me.
How did you get your electricity bill to be so low?
For one, we size our transformers just for what we need. And we unplug transformers, chargers, and other devices when they're not in use. We also replaced our light bulbs with LEDs.
They burn less energy, right?
Much less. I even replaced the seal on my refrigerator door to keep the cold air in.
And Grenlec is always advising us not to open the fridge too often.
That's right. And my family washes and irons in bulk.
With fuel prices changing all the time, how do you know if it is working?
We pay attention to the usage history table. Over time, our average usage has decreased.
So while Grenada can't control fuel prices, I can conserve energy and save money.
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Alrighty, folks. Terrence and Madonna. I see you guys were a little bit late joining us this morning. That's fine. That's fine. It's going to be up on Facebook in about 10 minutes or so. Less than that, I'm sure. And within the hour, it's also going to be up there on YouTube. I see a lot more people are watching us on YouTube than on Facebook. And that's good news. And it's also going to be up on the GRENADABROADCAST.com website. Pilgrims, parting word from the Holy Scriptures. You know we ain't going anywhere without that, right? Whew. Today's reading comes to you from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verses 1 to 8. Should sound familiar to many of you. There's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to search and a time to give up. A time to help and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace. That reading, friends, Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 to 8. On that note, 23 minutes after the hour. Thank you so much for keeping us company this morning. Thank you, Sherron. Sherron's going to do the work. Do appreciate all of you. By the way, tonight we're going to have that little get-together we were planning on doing privately. And tomorrow morning we'll let you know how that went, okay? God bless you, friends.